Less than 6 days into a 5-month-long prison sentence. Well, to be fair, what was it? 2.5. If that, even. Jussie Smollett, famous hate crime hoaxer. His attacker is back on the streets once again. Yes, indeed. He complained, he bitched, he whined, and he got a favorable outcome when it came to his horrific treatment in Cook County Jail, I guess, apparently. But no. A lot of people are pointing out that, oh my god, this is just clearly black privilege, or oh my god, this is liberal privilege, or if you hate Trump enough, it just, look at all of the benefits that you get from it. This is just having deep pockets and even deeper fucking connections, because you remember how the first set of charges just magically disappeared off of Kim Foxx, the Attorney General District Attorney's desk in Cook County beforehand in 2020 or later in 2019, sorry, my mistake, just because she received a phone call from Big Mike Obama. Like, this dude knows a lot of people. I don't necessarily know why, because outside of Empire, this is the most high-profile thing that he's ever been attached to. It's fucking weird. Then again, he was also a child actor in Hollywood for a while, so he probably has other much more unsavory connections that are stem from his childhood there, but whatever. So yes, the juice is on the loose, and maybe if the appeal comes back in his behavior, maybe the new trial will be streamed or televised for all of us to enjoy. But there's another BLM video that I recorded yesterday. All the topics were out there, and it's like, well, okay, BLM's being crazy. I was on a bit of a good roll, so I just figured, hey, I might as well get ahead of the curve and record something for tomorrow. What's the worst that could happen? I think I made a couple of references, and I watched it over. Most of the stuff's still pretty good in it, but I made a couple of references about Jussie probably should just, fucking all of his saber rattling from his defense team, his high-powered defense team. He's just stopped bitching and moaning because he'll be out in a little while. It looks like that ended up becoming true, but there's a few references of him still being in jail, so just know that was recorded yesterday, but most of the hilarity of that fucking disastrous organization, it still holds up, and all of the information there is still good. But this is going to be specifically a very, very, very a juicy video. The appeals court on Wednesday ordered that Jussie Smollett be released from jail while his conviction appeal is pending. This is something that is, you don't see it very often, mostly because it's reserved for the rich and famous, let's be completely honest, but when a court, an appellate court, takes up your case, once you file the appeal and all the appropriate paperwork, the appellate court receives your call to have your conviction reheard by a higher court. If they believe that there is a high degree of probability that if there is a successful appeal on this, you will not be serving any jail time, and especially if it's for a non-violent felony, yes, you are granted bail. But normally, that doesn't happen for just regular people. All you need to do is just take a look at the January 6, 2021 riders that are still in jail right now. They haven't received any sort of similar treatment. All of them are just being charged with basic trespassing charges. You just take a look at, outside of the one Oath Keepers guy who has a conspiracy to commit sedition, but not actually like sedition or insurrection or any sort of media hyped up charge. But when you have these non-violent crimes, everybody should be getting this treatment, but only reserved for the most rich and famous and privileged among us. The 2-1 decision, the court said, that he could be released after posting a personal recognizance bond of $150,000, meaning he doesn't have to put down money but has agreed to come to court as required. The only way that he'd have to pay that $150,000, or I'm not entirely sure what the deal is in Illinois itself, if it's 10% of that or whatever, is if he infringes on the bail terms prior to the court hearing. So he's out completely scot-free after 6 days of bitching and moaning, whining, complaining, and saying that, oh, my family, well, on his behalf, his family saying, oh, we're receiving evil phone calls. Can you produce any of them? We're receiving them. Oh, okay, cool. I know what that means. Appellate Court Justice Thomas Hoffman and Joy Cunningham signed the order, while Justice Maureen Connors dissented. I'm pretty sure, but it is in Illinois, so take this with a bucket of salt. It was 2 liberals and 1 conservative, but again, does it it really much matter? It was unclear late Wednesday how soon he would be released. We have pictures, and we'll get into that shortly. Smollett was sentenced to 150 days in jail on March 10th and has been convicted of 5 of 6 counts of felony disorderly conduct. 5 felonies he was convicted of and sentenced for, but that's alright. He can just go out on his own recognizance. Nothing to see here, right? Spokesman for the Cook County Sheriff's Office said on March 10th that Smollett will be given a comprehensive medical, mental health, and security assessment and will be placed in appropriate housing, the same process used for all people entering jail, as it should be. He is a felon, after all. March 15th, the Cook County Sheriff's Office said that he was moved to... Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. Cook County Sheriff's Office and Smollett's family said that Jussie was moved to a new jail cell after having been held in a psych ward, but he was still under protective care or something like that for like high-profile inmates, which is ostensibly solitary confinement, which is just death for a narcissist because he has nobody to perform for except for the cameras that are always theoretically on. Therefore, he could definitely not commit suicide. For anybody within earshot. Smollett's brother, Jackie, whatever, dumbass, said the former TV star really? Was Empire really that popular? Or am I just that far removed from pop culture? Because it's like, I seen some promotional footage for it, but outside of that, it was like, it wasn't even close to being on my radar. And he wasn't even like one of the top billed people. Wasn't Terrence Howard on that show? And, one of the famous black lady actors, it's like he had like 10th billing on that fucking show. But again, after days or literal hours after complaining and all the fucking haranguing from the Smollett clan, where they were saying things like, oh, the star was being housed in prison psych ward, and the officials had noted that he was at risk of harming himself, which he said was very concerning because his brother was in no way, shape, or form at risk of self-harm. Yeah, because he said it, and you know, normally the things that come out of Jussie Smollett's mouth are just 100% factual and honest. Smollett's attorney had argued that he would have completed the sentence by the time the appeals process was completed, and that Smollett would be in danger of physical harm if he remained locked up in Cook County Jail. Not if he's in solitary confinement. The Office of the Special Prosecutor called the claim factually incorrect in the response to the motion. Smollett had asserted that the attack happened, January 19th, in dark Chicago street, where a couple of Nigerian brothers came over after they were paid insufficiently for the attack that he completely orchestrated on them. But we need not go over all of the other details in the case. I think his defense team did that during the trial and then during the sentencing hearing, so we all know the fucking facts. But what else precipitated his release? Well, according to Jussie Smollett's brother, one of the many, I guess, he has, like, how many fucking siblings? Claimed family received a very evil, threatening phone call. Okay. Again, more of these fucking claims. Like, we talked about this Monday or some shit like that, I think. Where it was like, oh, we received the voicemail. And it was very awful, but the voice definitely wasn't familiar. And it definitely didn't sound like somebody that we know. Saying that they were going to harm Jussie. And it's like, well, he's in jail, so I think he's pretty safe and away from anybody who could do him any harm. Except for himself. He is probably the biggest perpetrator of violence against himself. Jojo Smollett, yes, the brother of Jussie, who was sentenced and is now out again, says his family has received a threatening phone call. We see a lot of hate mail online on social media. Oh, okay, cool. And being a celebrity with a long history. Who are you referencing again? Jussie has received a lot of hate mail. Yes, some he even sent to himself. And many of my family members have received hate mail and hate speech directed toward us. Oh my god. That's terrible. Can you produce any of it? This was a very morbid sounding message. Unadulterated evil. It was pure evil. The tone of it and the intention behind it. Whatever did it say, Jojo? The purported message reads as follows. Wow, he received a textual phone message? That's odd. Hi, this is Knitter Lives Matter? Weird. I hope that they do to that guy in jail. Here's what they're gonna do, right? They're gonna take and take that little, shove it in there, and he's gonna go noise with laughter. What is that? That's not a threat. That's just, I don't know, poor writing. Something that the Smollett family's used to. Message very morbid, evil, dark, very petulant. Jojo Smollett reiterated. No, it's retarded. So yeah, as this decision came down last night, some point in time, last night I seen it pop up and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Figures, right? So the response from the other side of this is, like I said at the beginning, they're just saying, oh, it's black privilege. It's all this kind of fucking identity politics shit. And it's like, no, it's not. This dude, like I said, has connections. He's wealthy. And his defense team is fucking worth every single penny he's paid them so far. Is this a joke, fury, disbelief, and mockery as Jussie Smollett is released from jail after serving just 6 days of 5-month sentence for lying to cops? Yeah, he received bail, something that is pending his appeal, right? It's something that is, offered normally to people, nonviolent criminals who are convicted and their case gets picked up by an appellate court, which is rare in and of itself. And it should be offered to people. And I'm not against that for sure. And even Smollett does deserve that to be offered to him as well. Only if, okay, and like the terms of his bail, that's what I have a big problem with. Recognizance, really, this fucking career liar, somebody who has been convicted of 5 fucking felonies gets to walk out free as the day is long. Sure thing. But it should be offered to a lot of other people. They should be getting the right to speedy trial as well. There are amendments in the Constitution actually written down. There are Supreme Court decisions that back this shit up. But all of that shit's out the window, right? It's all white supremacy or racism, right? Well, that's released from jail on Wednesday night has spawned a wave of disbelief, outrage, and mockery of the entire case against the Empire actor, which many is considering the latest episode, a long-running farce that began as he falsely claimed he had been beaten up. No, now it's back to be decided again, even though with an appellate decision, he's always referred to as being convicted, and he has to present evidence that it was unfairly decided against him. So it's a absolute inversion of the initial trial. So I don't know where he's going to come up with that information, because that's going to be tough as fuck to find. In reality, the 2 men were black after he said that I was attacked by 2 white people, pale-faced people. Sorry, my story just keeps changing a little bit, but they were definitely white, and they were definitely Trump supporters, because they were yelling, "This is MAGA country." Downtown Chicago. Doesn't really make sense. Last week, after hours-long sentencing, 6 fucking hours, his attorneys begged for the judge not to jail him. Smollett was sent to Cook County Jail for 150 days. Yeah, and then he went on his, I am not suicidal. If anything happens to me in there, I didn't do it. And then his family was surprised as he was held in the psych ward for a couple of days. But yeah, then it came just the fucking insane shit. Filed an emergency motion claiming he'd be in jail because he's immunocompromised, testing positive for a different kind of disease and at risk of COVID. Oh my God. He also claimed that he was being restrained in a bed while in a psych ward, which was denied by the jail. Oh, okay, cool. So that's a part of the other video that's going to be out here. He had one of the founders of BLM will spoil it a little bit, saying that he was held in a restrictive bed. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So that's not true. More you know. And his family also claimed to have received voicemails and death threats and hate mail from people online. Oh my God, all of that has what to do with a guy who's been given a rather light jail sentence? What the fuck is going on? I'm not all that concerned with what idiots on Twitter are saying, as always. Smollett's attorney, Nene Uche, said last night that he had refused food during his jail stint. Oh my God, he was going on a hunger strike. Therefore, anybody now who's on a hunger strike can be freed from jail if their appeal gets taken up, and they can be offered personal recognizance bond, of course. Ice water, that's been his food and liquid. I can only imagine if I was in jail or something for something I didn't do, I wouldn't be eating, he said. Yeah, it's tough to eat on a guilty conscience. Smollett did not speak to confirm the claim as he left jail, and he looked svelte in a smart black t-shirt and matching pants as he was flanked by bodyguards who walked him to a waiting SUV. Just goes to show you what privilege can get you and what being well-funded can do for you. Uche also told reporters how his client nearly gave up after his conviction. Oh man, we should have empathy and sympathy for a convicted felon. On a tiny violin, which saw him rage at a judge who jailed him before spending 4 of his 6 days behind bars in a psychiatric unit. where he was kept in restraints. Oh wait, he wasn't. Well, he was in a psych ward. Well, he is fucking crazy, and he makes up different scenarios, and he has for at least 3 fucking years. So, seems to check out. He was freed. Yeah. After he posted the required $150,000 personal recognizance bond, he didn't post any money. There was no money that changed hands. Uche also revealed, oh yes, that the actor put his hands on the glass separating him from his client, and the news that it was broken him. He reacted with shock. Oh God, is this going to be in the fucking Hallmark TV movie once that eventually gets made? He was shocked, said Uche. He had nearly given up. But I thought he said he wasn't suicidal though, so what would he do? Just continue to sit there and do literally nothing? But there's his squad that's going to be out there. And, you know, kind of selfishly, I would like to see the appeal of this case come back in his favor so we can run this shit show back again. And then hopefully, everything checks out once again. He comes back being convicted as a 2-time back-to-back champion liar. And then he can get like a year, 2 or 3 in jail, because I think that would be justice at that point. Continue to waste more taxpayer money because it's not going to any better causes in fucking Chicago, if we're being honest. But with all of that said, and until we get more word on the appellate hearing, it'll be all she wrote. Hopefully for the rest of the week. Fuck, that'd be crazy if there was any more developments on this. But with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Much to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.